This is Honors Geometry, Volume and Surface Area of Cylinders. We're going to start with cylinders because they're the easiest one to do. So the first thing we're going to talk about is volume. And remember, volume is the number of cubic units contained in the interior. So how can we fill up this cylinder? So the formula to find the volume of a cylinder is you find the area of the base and then you multiply it times the height. And the reason I start with cylinders is because they're easy. The base is simply a circle. So our base is pi r squared. And then again, you just stack those up. How high do you stack them? The height. So the formula we're going to use is pi r squared, the area of our base, and then we're going to multiply that times the height. Let's practice. All right, so again, the formula we use for volume of a cylinder is area of the base, and you hear me say that a lot because we're going to keep using this for other shapes, which is pi r squared, and then we're going to multiply it times the height. And they give us everything we need. Our radius is 3, so I'm going to say 3 squared, and our height is 5. I'm going to punch that all in my calculator. We don't have units here. Punch that in my calculator, and I get looks like it's given me about 141.37. It doesn't tell us where it took round, so I'm going to round to 141.4, we'll say, and that's going to be cubic units. We don't know what the unit is. Just be careful. I threw this one in here. If they give you the diameter, remember you have to have the radius to do area. So we're going to have to cut that in 4.5. So our volume is going to be pi r squared times the height. And if our diameter is 9 feet, that means our radius is 4.5 feet squared. And the height, they knock the can over. That doesn't bother us, our height. Punch that in your calculator, you got your answer. While we're doing cylinders, I thought we'd talk about surface area. Again, they're the easiest shape we're going to study, so we thought we'd start with that. So surface area is the sum of the areas of its faces. So we're going to sort of build this can. We're not worried about the inside now, we're worried about the outside. That's surface area. So if you look at a can, a cylinder, you know you have two circles, the top circle and the bottom circle. So we're going to find the area of one circle and we're going to double it. So we have two circles, 2 pi r squareds. And then the body of the can, it'd be like peeling the label, and they're showing us green beans. If you peel the label off of your green bean can, you have a rectangle. And we know that the area of a rectangle is base times height, or length times width, if you want to call it that. And we know that this label should fit perfectly around our top circle. So we know that around the circle means circumference. So the circumference of a circle we know is 2 times the radius times pi. So that circumference is now going to be the base or the length of our cylinder. So we're going to say, let's put it all together now. So it looks like to build this can, we have two circles and we have a rectangle. The two circles are pi r squared. We have 2 of those. And then our rectangle, we said our base of our rectangle is the circumference of the circle. So that's 2 pi r, and we're going to multiply it times the height. So that's the formula we're going to use. Let's go ahead and try one. So let me write that again. So our surface area, we have 2 circles, the bottom and the top, so that's going to be 2 times pi r squared. And then to that, we're going to add the body of the can, which we said is the circumference times the height. The circumference we know is 2 times the radius times pi, and we're going to multiply that times the height. Let's go ahead and throw in the numbers they give us. We're given that the radius is 2 inches. And we're given that the height of our cylinder is 7 inches. And we can punch that in our calculator just the way you see it, nothing fancy. So I'm going to say 2 pi times 2 squared plus 2 times 2 times pi times 7. And we get an answer of 113.09, so I'm going to round it to 1, and that would be square inches. Okay, we're back to area, so we don't want the cubic, we want square. All right, let me do a couple backwards ones just to make it more interesting. That gets boring doing a couple of those. Let's go backwards. This time we're given the volume and we're missing the height. So remember, the volume formula is the area of the base times the height. Our base is a circle, so it's pi r squared times the height. Let's substitute everything they give us. They give us the volume is 87.92. They give us the radius is 2. What we don't know is the height. So let's go ahead and multiply 2 squared times pi and see what that comes out to be. It looks like it's about 12.57. So I get 87.92 equals 12.57 times h. Now we're going to divide each side by 12.57. And it looks like our height turns out to be 7 units. What are units? Meters in this case. All right, so what's the height? The height is 7 meters. This time we're going to do surface area, and this time the radius is missing. It gets a little messy when the radius is missing. So let me go ahead and write our formula down. Our formula for surface area, remember, is 2 of the bases, which is 2 pi r squared. And then we need the body of the cylinder, which is circumference, which is 2 times the radius times pi times height. Let's substitute everything we know and we'll find the radius. We're given that the surface area is 603. What we don't know is the radius. It's going to be a little messy here. But we do know that the height of the can is 10. All right. So let's go ahead and simplify a little bit. Okay, I just realized I shouldn't have done surface area with the radius missing, so we're going to give you the radius and we're taking away the height this time. So let's try that again. So we're going to write our formula down for surface area. Remember, it's 2 of the bases, so that's 2 pi r squared. And then to that we're going to add the body of the can, which is the circumference, 2 times the radius times pi, and then times the height. And let's substitute everything we know. This time we know the radius, and we're given that the radius is 4. And we'll put a 4 in here. What we don't know is the height, so we're going to leave that as our unknown. I'm going to go ahead and simplify, and we know that the surface area is 603. So let me go ahead and simplify. I'm going to multiply 2 times pi times 4 squared. And that gives me 100.5, plus 2 times 4 times pi. Let's see what that is. 2 times 4 times pi gives me 25.1 times h. Let's subtract that 100.5 from each side. So I'm going to take 603 minus 100.5. Gives me 502. It's a little messy, sorry about that. 0.5 equals 25.1 times the height. Now we're going to divide each side by 25.1. And there it is. Our height of our cylinder turns out to be 20 units, and in this case that'd be centimeters. Okay. We get 20 centimeters as our height. Please try the practice problems. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.